I got a prompt for you.
Okay.
You're at Fiesta Fun. You're 12 years old. Hold on. And you're going to the skee ball machine. And the skee ball machine is saying this to you. Bump it up.
Okay. The skee ball machine?
Yeah, it's out of the shitty speaker.
Okay. Let's
Bump
see.
it up. What do we got?
Bump it up! Wow! Get the skee ball! Bump it up!
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it made me sweaty like I was when I was 12.
I am sweating right now.
Little boy!
Hello and welcome to the Bumpy Soup podcast, a podcast where the games are made up and the points don't matter. That's right, the points are just like creating a podcast with your friends in a hopeless attempt to save something for this world as you're on your inevitable march towards existential oblivion. I'm here with Emily,
Yoo-hoo.
Scott,
Hello.
Shane,
What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up?
Max,
Ouchie, 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 ouch!
and I'm Alec.
And Alec would be the Wayne Brady.
Yeah, am I the Wayne Brady of this group?
Yeah, the most talented.
Oh,
the most
nice.
funny.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the most handsome.
That's debatable.
Yeah,
I'm
best
just
singer.
kidding.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
they create a whole rap game just for me.
Yeah. Yeah, right. You were half the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Trying to decide if I'm Drew Carey or if I'm Ryan Stiles.
Well,
Ryan
I
Stiles.
like Ryan Stiles, so I think he'd be
Yes.
Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Scott, what's your spirit? Whose line is it anyway? Person.
Oh, definitely Colin Mockery.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, Colin
I
Mockery.
love him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
definitely
great.
relate to him.
Yeah.
I want to be not Laura Hall, but the other girl that's there sometimes. What's her name?
Linda Taylor.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. That's who I'd be.
Wait,
I need to rewatch this to make a decision. This
Yeah.
is an important decision.
they're the musicians on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't remember who played what, but I remember them slapping it up.
Yeah. There's always,
Oh.
I mean, something I always look forward to.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we watch that show, I like to imagine like what my life would be like if I was on TV as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like School of Rock,
Yeah.
right? Like the girl that played bass was like my age.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, man, like
Yeah.
that could have been me.
You could have
And now
been
I
the School of Rock bassist.
Yeah, I could have
girl.
been the School of Rock bassist girl.
Yeah, but there's one thing that you're forgetting.
Is that
Your parents aren't in the military, and that's all
Right.
child actors have military parents.
is that what it is?
CIA parents. I don't know. Frank Zappa's dad was the guy who like did MK Ultra stuff, and since then I'm just convinced every
No.
rich for real.
So
And,
based
like,
off of one anecdotal story, you're gonna assume that every
okay,
single
all right, hold
child
on.
celebrity.
That's a great point, Scott.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah.
All three of them come from military families.
Okay.
Zappa comes from a military family.
Crosby just
Jim
died.
Morrison, military family
Here's
doesn't
the thing,
change
man.
anything.
You
Neil
are
Young is the only one who isn't from
Not
a
the
military
bad
family.
Crosby.
Cosby.
You also just named a lot of fucking old music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
60s.
Like that was
60s.
like the time to like go fight for your country. That was like the prime time to go fight for
Yeah,
your
most of
country.
them
Like,
were. Most people in that
fucking
time
of
were in the
course.
military.
Prime
Yeah.
time to die for your country.
Yeah, I mean, if there is a prime time, that like World War II probably would have been it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
60s was
Yeah.
not World War II. The 60s was Vietnam.
Well, yeah, but like the parents of those people.
I guess so. The point remains that
I would like-
all of them come from people who were involved in this and high up government programs.
Yeah.
Like their parents were all like, again, not just I think David Crosby, his dad was the guy at the Bay of Pigs with Cuba and everything, where they did the false flag thing where the ship got bombed, and he was the captain of that ship that just did not get bombed. Nothing happened. That's his kid is David Crosby.
Okay, I got one. So remember that that story that's come out recently about that woman who was like in the police force and she like slept with a bunch of other cops over in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Bay of Pigs, but it's BAE.
I like that.
Amazing.
I like that.
fucking rocks.
Wow. Wowie. Good job. Speaking of music,
Yeah.
my boss asked me an interesting question in a survey for my team.
You can ask
today.
us as well.
I am going to ask it to you.
Thank God.
What is your walk out song? Do you know what that is?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're being like introduced on stage and you're walking out.
You're walking out. It's hyped.
Yeah.
It has to be like a hyped song, I think. I
Yeah.
think that's a requirement.
I'm happy to go first because I already have it.
Do it.
So there's two options. Number one is Guillotine by Stray from the Path.
Ooh.
I thought you were saying Death Grip, so I was like, yeah.
No, that'd be a good option too. I feel like
it goes,
I'm not.
it goes, Shane.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I feel like that would be a really actually a genuinely sick option. I'm not a big enough fan of Death Grips, in that I've only listened to the Money Store to justify using them as like a walkout.
Fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough.
And I also only found Stray from the Path because of TikTok, but I don't have like there's not like the cult following that Death Grips has, right? I wouldn't feel like a poser with that.
Will you like sing a little bit of it so I recognize what it is?
No, I can't because I am not like a screamer metal vocalist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
got it's got
I'll
like
look it up later.
it's great. It's cool. It's like it's pretty fucking hard. There's like some like rap yelling in it too.
Yeah.
It's kind
New
of like
metal.
it's kind of new metal. It has like these like new metal elements to it. So that's like option number 1. Option number 2 is Go Home Get Down by Death from Above 1979.
Mm.
I thought you were just saying that you were going to go home, not walk
the
out.
other option is the other option is I just go back to bed.
Here I go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick that option.
No, yeah, Go Home Get Down by
Here comes Shane, and he left.
yeah. I have to
from-
astral project.
For me, it's Mambo number 5.
Yeah.
Or Jungle Boogie,
Nice.
just from that
Nice.
scene in Jackie Brown. Dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Those are good options for sure.
Scott, you got one?
Dude, I don't know.
We'll come back to you.
Anyone have one for me that comes to mind?
We'll come back to you. It's
Okay.
an important decision for you to make, you know.
Okay.
No one else is walking out after someone says your name, you know. So I deliberated and I had like 7 options,
Damn.
but I whittled it down to September by Earth, Wind and Fire
Oh,
Bang.
great.
because
Okay.
one, that is the song I've been listening to for the longest time, like since childhood, since Funky Friday in our household.
And your birthday is the 21st of September.
It's not, but also because the general appeal I think is there and vibes. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
I'm not totally sure, but the one that came to mind was FCP Remix by The Fall of Troy. I just think that'd be I just think it'd be tight. It has like this intro, and it's like, all right, and he's coming out, and then it kicks in right as you walk out on stage, and I think it'd be like banger.
Maybe I don't know. Your time is up. My time is now. That's just the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Yes.
My second option is Headstrong.
Yeah.
Highly sick. Yeah.
That song.
So we have a friend named Jeremiah, and he has this video that he put on YouTube like 8 years ago, and it's Headstrong, but it's to Pikmin.
Oh yeah, that's.
And he got
Legendary.
like tens of thousands of views on it, and there's
Yeah, it was like kind of a popular video for the Pikmin AMV community.
what other community would embrace it?
It's representation for their community. Yeah. That like it was such a popular video that like by and far he is the most famous person that we know.
Yeah.
All of us.
I
Right?
think that Bo Elliott may have surpassed
That's true.
Interesting.
him. Yeah, he may be like, I mean, not to immediately shit on what you just said, but I think that Jeremiah was a really strong number 1 for most of our lives.
Since childhood, right?
What did
How
Bo
long
do?
ago was that video
Bo,
made?
so, sorry. I don't know how old
Like
it is.
7 years.
Teens?
I don't know. It was probably like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Bo has had some really substantial virility on Twitter with his animation.
I've seen some
and shit
stuff.
like that. Yeah, he had 1 or 2 really blow up because the guy who designed or created Siren Head, as we know it, started sharing his shit.
Yeah.
And so Bo's like a micro influencer on Twitter now. It's like an
Go Bo.
animator. Yeah,
Niche
shout out
internet.
Bo.
Go Bo.
Yeah,
Bo Elliott.
He
yeah,
runs for office. He's got a slogan right there.
yeah.
Bo.
Go
Let's
Bo.
Come on.
Yeah.
Go Bo.
Let's go Bowden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not quite.
Boat him in.
I
Pokemon Bow to the polls.
You gotta have your microphone
I
up
know.
when you
I'm
say
sorry.
good ones
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
So sorry to talk about soccer, but the U.S. played a game last night, and
Hey
this
Google,
guy,
set a timer for 6.
Yeah, we're gonna just start it right now because
Hold
you
on,
only
this
have
isn't part of my.
I'm sorry, you have to add it in.
Okay, welcome to Supreme 60 Seconds of Soccer. Let's go. Firstly, Real Salt Lake changed the name of your stadium. Okay, now on to real soccer. Fulham played Tottenham Hotspur and lost 1-0. Harry Kane made a crazy turnaround shot from outside the box in first half stoppage time to win the game. I don't really want to talk about that. It just ended. Moving on, RSL re-sign Andy Williams. He's a club legend, and he was pushed out by DLH before he got kicked out for being racist. So I don't know why you haven't brought him back already. Looking at you, Elliot Fall. Also, sign Chicho. We want Chicho. Moving on again, Brian McBride and Ernie Stewart are out of USMNT. We know how I feel about Ernie. He's bald. But Brian McBride, I'm sad to see him go. Fulham and USMNT legend, probably the best striker that USMNT has ever had. Pretty great. As I was saying, Brandon Vasquez scored a goal last night in U.S. Soccer's game, and I thought it'd be really funny. I went into the U.S. Soccer group chat, and I said, let's go Brandon, and immediately got kicked. So... That's where I'm at now. I don't really know what to do anymore. I just can't talk to my friends. But let's go, Brandon. Come on. Let's go.
Boo.
It hasn't been a minute yet, but that's all I got to say.
So I don't know if the timer over
Time's
there-
up. You're done. You're done.
Please be quiet.
60
Let's
seconds.
go, Brandon.
over.
Come on. Let's go, Brandon Vasquez.
All right.
You're gonna get us banned
All right,
from
sorry,
YouTube
yeah.
again.
Yeah,
let's do
you can't
predictions.
say let's go Brandon.
Let's do
You have to go.
predictions.
You have to say let's go Biden.
Let's go,
You-
Biden.
You have to say fuck you Biden because let's go Brandon is.
Let's go,
censored.
Brandon is censored, but fuck you, Biden. Is
Yeah,
anymore,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is literally 1984.
It's been re-co-opted, so you can't use it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Brandon
okay.
was a psyop
We
the
got-
whole time.
We got Fulham versus Sunderland coming up in the FA Cup. Sunderland is a second or third division team, and Fulham is the best club in West London. Alec, predictions.
Sunderland, and they're going to bring asunder.
Ah,
Yeah, they're going to win 3-2.
3-2. All right, Emily?
What are the teams again?
Fulham and Sunderland.
Oh, Fulham. 4-1.
Ooh, all right. Scott?
Fulham 2-1. How about that?
All right, Shane?
My tried and true, baby. 10-10 draw, and everyone has a real fun time.
All right, 10-10 draw.
Yeah.
I'd
Fun
like to see
time.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I would like to see everyone have fun.
I'd like to see that. I'm gonna say 3-0.
The ref comes out. All right, boys, I want us to see everyone have a really fun time tonight.
I'm looking for smiles. I'm looking for giggles. Maybe some tickling.
The post-game interview, do they have those for soccer?
Uh-huh.
Did you have fun, though? Did you?
You only get your points if you had fun.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Trapped for a second.
Yeah.
For
Trapped?
Christmas one year, I got a little CD player that looked like a rice cooker, you know the ones?
Oh, yeah.
And my Aunt Julie gave it to me. Shout out to Aunt Julie. She's
Shout out
a
Aunt Julie.
cool
Shout
aunt.
out Aunt Julie.
And she got me like a Britney Spears, a Christina Aguilera CD, Ricky Martin, Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. But the CD player came with a sample CD.
Oh, sick.
And on it was Headstrong by Trapped,
Sick.
Miss Murder by AFI,
banger.
and a handful of other ones that I think helped shaped my like alternative rock tastes a little bit.
Because you didn't have like Tony Hawk Pro Skater to help you with that, right?
No,
Yeah.
I was not exposed to
So
that.
it was this sample CD.
It was a
Is
sample
your Tony
CD.
Hawk. Yeah.
and I
that's sick.
had like maybe 6 CDs in the rotation. So yeah, I learned all those. Oh, I got a Celine Dion CD too.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
The heavy metal of pop
Yeah.
singers.
Yeah, that's what they call
Lots
her. I've
of
heard
pop,
that before.
and
Yeah.
then one like random alternative rock. I don't even know if that.
Is Trapped a Christian band?
I saw this
don't
video
know.
about talking about all these different Christian bands.
I
that,
didn't
like,
finish the video. I don't know if you ever got.
I didn't see anything about Trapped.
Because
But
Switchfoot is right, and that's like the
Yeah.
other kind of band
Yep.
that's like really
Under
comparable to
Oath.
that. Right, yeah, sure, yeah. Maybe Trapped isn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they like pretty hardcore? Like,
Well, for the radio
yeah,
oh yeah.
at the time,
yeah.
but
we'd call them dad rock
Yeah.
or like butt
Oh,
rock,
okay.
perhaps.
butt rock probably is like I think you would say that's
That's the
what it- maybe they
technical
understand.
term. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Scott, do you like him? You're a dad and you have a butt.
Yeah. No, I like, yeah. Dad rock, butt rock, one and the same. Incorporated both into my psyche by Sonic the Hedgehog and various other game medias. Do you know what was a good one? Burnout Paradise had good music. And
Ooh.
yeah. And all those MX versus ATV
Oh,
games.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I like how you say the game media, like the news media.
Yeah. Big game.
Big game. They're trying to get us to buy a bunch of shit. Microtransactions are fucking bullshit, man. Big game's getting us down.
Yeah, big game truther. That's so sick.
Oh man.
Really quick.
You just
Let me tell you
channeled
something.
Alex Jones into my living room.
Yeah. Yeah. So really quick with the ATV, one of those games, right? So I had a PSP, and I had like 3 games on it, and one of them was like one of those ATV games. I had like a Hellboy and some other bullshit game, and like a Bob Marley live video, right?
Nice.
And I didn't want to listen to Bob Marley all the time, but I did want to listen to music, so I would put in my ATV game and just like
Stop.
just fucking turn on the game, listen to the music, and just put my PSP in my pocket and like listen to music that way.
Yeah.
Before I could like get
Nice.
music on it, because we didn't like have iTunes, we didn't have a computer, we didn't have the internet, so it's like that was like the only option for me to listen to shit that wasn't on the radio.
Need for Speed Underground 2
Oh,
is also a really
yeah.
defining one for
Banger.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Snoop
Of
Dogg.
course,
Riders
yeah,
on
There
the
were
Storm.
Yeah,
Riders
I
on
like
the
the Doors.
Storm. Da, 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 da. I can't remember. I'll need to look up the soundtrack and
Toto? Was
revisit
Toto on
those.
there? You just did like the Africa.
Oh yeah, that was
No, no,
that sounded
no.
like yeah.
It was more like spacey rock
Yeah.
stuff. I'll have to look.
Taxi
I'm gonna look it
Driver
up.
has a
Taxi
good
Driver was sick.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
Obviously Tony Hawk's.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to think that the Madden soundtracks were all right, and like they're okay. Something that's really disappointing though is that the FIFA soundtracks are just so much worse than the Madden soundtracks.
In
Really?
what
It's-
way?
Like okay, in the way that Europeans are worse than Americans.
Oh sure.
And
So
the
is it
music
like,
follows that.
Is it like
exactly.
club music?
Yeah, well, it's more club music than an American sports game would have, if that makes
Right,
sense.
yeah.
Like, it's like,
Well, that's like the Euro thing, right? They
yeah.
have that like poppy club sort of vibe. you
Yeah, and so
know?
I mean, obviously, like there's a wide variety of stuff they put on there, but all the songs sound a little bit more. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I try to not be American centric, but I am
Sure.
because we're better. That's just how it is.
Oh my god. Give It All by Rise Against.
Oh
yeah.
Rise
banger.
Against is a Christian
I don't
band,
think-
are they?
I don't think so. No.
Hmm.
I always get
They're
Rise Against and
anarcho-Christian.
Against me confused.
What did you say, Alex?
Anarcho-Christian.
wait. No, Rise Against isn't Christian. They're like super leftist. They have that song for the refugee.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
not really
you're
anarcho,
right.
Yeah.
I was making a joke.
I saw
No,
someone
Swing
again. I
Life
saw a
Away
video.
is so fucking
Swing
good.
Like Boy is good.
Yeah, that was great. You know what's sick
No.
about Rise Against is that there was this like period for about 9 months where kids were putting together scooter videos, and
Yeah.
the only music you ever saw to them was Rise Against.
This
Always,
feels
every single time.
Really familiar, like on a soul level, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rise Against
think
were one of
I
those kind of
probably-
like hard bands that were like still acceptable.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Like you could listen to like your parents wouldn't like yell at you.
Kind of
right?
like Trapped.
Yeah,
Kinda like that.
yes, yeah.
Uh,
Well, the
another-
the difference is the kind of alcohol your father drinks. Like, he's the defining factor in which
Yeah.
bands you got to listen
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Another one of those bands was Story of the Year.
Okay,
Never listened
I
to
was
them.
going to bring
Never
this
got
up
into
earlier,
it.
but now that you brought them up, so I was telling Maddie about this the other day, but like along with like CDs that we had as kids, growing up, you and Zach had a Story of the Year CD or something like that. That I think you'd burned a new one, so you gave me that one. Anyways, and like at one point, I
Hand me
became
down burn CDs.
yeah, all like I like got in with the kids in the neighborhood because I had a Story of the Year CD, and it was like,
Nice.
oh, that's sick. Yeah, I had
Nice.
that album. Dude, shout out Story
Story of the Year is good. Like they're great. I
I haven't listened to him since.
So I saw him once. I saw him at UCCU Theater up at UVU, and they were playing with the Bravery, and
Ooh, the
Interesting.
bravery.
yeah, the Bravery has a was it Believe that song?
So
Yeah.
give
That
me
song
something
bangs.
to believe.
Right.
Yeah.
But the mix it didn't make sense, but they were both like big bands at that time, so you know it was one of those kind of like college shows where they do that. And the one thing I remember is that Story of the Year was playing, and at one point they had a big stage, and the guitarists were on opposite sides, and they both take out their guitars off and they throw them across to each other, and they cross in the middle of the air, and they catch them and then keep playing. I was like, that's the fucking coolest thing I've ever
That's
seen.
sick. Do you like, not that this would really take away anything from it, but do you think like they actually did that, or like do you think they were actually playing, or do you think like they maybe had something play in there.
So
they could
one
use
is that it would take away from it. Two is, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. My 17-year-old mind was blown, and and I've thought about that, until now. So for 14 years, I've been like enamored with them. So if it was a lie, then I got 14 good years of being stoked on it.
That's true.
The Milli Vanilli of hard rock.
Speaking
It could
of
be legit.
I think
it's just 2 guitars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was most impressed that they didn't crash into each other. Like
Right.
that's really good, like throwing and maintaining the direction. Like, yeah.
speaking of Northern Utah music, did you see? So Brendan Urie, right, the guy from
Yeah.
Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
So like, everyone except for Brandon Urie from Panic at the Disco is from Provo, and I think he's even kind of involved up there. But so everyone except for him, except for Brendan, had quit the band now, and then Brendan finally broke up the band now. But Dallin Weeks, one of the Provo guys, he had this post on Instagram that was like a throwback Thursday a couple years ago where he got shot in the hand by Brendan Urie in the middle of a performance. He like pulled it out and shot him, and he's oh, look at this. And Brendan Urie comments like, oh, got you, fucker. And it's this thing. The day after that changed, Dallin Weeks went back and edited it, and it was like, throwback to the time that I got shot on stage and I had to act like it was funny to not lose my job. And like going off on him.
Yeah, like
Brendan Urie's not a good guy.
It was like the day that the band broke up. He like went and changed it.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
Wait,
fuck.
why did he have a gun on stage that he was shooting?
Airsoft gun.
Oh, okay.
But like it's still like he shot him like point blank. Like,
Okay, I thought he was like shooting him in the hand. Is like
I
like
thought it was a
stigmata,
real gun.
It's got a
Yeah.
whole, like,
Who lost their job though?
Yikes.
No one did.
Okay.
He was like the bassist in this band, and Brendan Urie's just an asshole. And so in order to not lose his job, he had to like act like it was funny to get shot in front of a
Yikes.
bunch of people.
Even though it like
Ew.
actually sucked ass and he hated it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to hear how Scott met various members of the folks
Yeah.
here.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Scott.
we haven't done an introduction
Yes.
for Scott.
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Do you want a really brief introduction for you first?
Like me to intro myself.
Yeah,
if
that's
you-
great.
I was gonna say what you do on like the
Two
on the
truths, one
show.
lie.
So Scott.
Okay.
So Scott's involvement on the show on Good Show episode 1, Social and Security Number. He plays a Walmart cop, bodyguard,
Walmart goon.
Anti-theft
Walmart
personnel.
and
Walmart AP goon. Even though
Piggy of the wall.
yeah.
AP wouldn't wear the bright yellow. It was more just like standing by the door. The receipt checker, I guess, but just
Yeah.
like a mean mugging fucking.
As you can tell, he used to work at Walmart. That's why he knows all the logistics of
Yeah.
Walmart.
Seriously, standout performance. Eagle
great.
eye.
Yeah.
You're
The way
like-
that was cut too was fucking
The,
amazing.
the editing definitely makes that part
Yeah.
for
Shout
sure.
out.
Yeah.
And,
You did too. You
we
made
were
it.
we were worried that we wouldn't be able to figure out anything, but Scott worked at Walmart, and so we were able to actually get in there and shoot that. And that was like the fucking smoothest, cleanest shoot. We just like showed up, you got us in, we did it, we get out and leave. Like,
yeah. Some people were kind of like, look at us a little sideways, but it's like, yeah, well, we got the camera, yeah, we're just doing our thing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts about this part in this episode is like you do awesome in it, but there's like this serendipitous balloon situation.
Yeah.
This vampire, it was like Halloween time when you were filming, and this like vampire cutie cartoony balloon is like floating in the air behind, I think, Max when you're leaving the building.
Mhm.
And it like turns, and then like there's a freeze frame when you like finger gun at
Yeah.
Scott, and the balloon has turned perfectly, so it's staring straight at the camera when the freeze frame happens, and I can't
didn't notice
stop
that. I'll
thinking
have to
about it.
rewatch
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
notice that
it's
either.
really good.
I didn't see it at all when I was doing it, and then Emily pointed it out, and it's like, that's so fucking funny. That looks like we did it on purpose, because
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we were able to get in there. I kind of had to schedule it at a time where I knew that like the people who were going to be there like would not care that it was happening.
Yeah.
So I was off the clock, so that was fine because like I would not have been able to get away with doing that like on the clock,
Yeah.
right? And just the person running the front end wouldn't have come over and asked questions and stuff.
Yeah.
It was honestly
it was
the
smooth.
perfect storm. Having you, who like your acting was honestly great in that. It was it's enjoyable to
Thank you.
watch.
Yeah.
And then you're also an employee of the place we need to shoot at. I think we're gonna try and replicate this situation because we really need a film at Del Taco at some point.
Yeah.
So one of our friends either needs to get a job there, or we need to befriend someone who works at Del Taco.
Or I could just procure a Del Taco uniform. Do it myself.
Well, all right, we have the Del Taco hat and the Del Taco hoodie.
We just
Yeah,
need
we
to
do.
get into the building and behind the counter for an hour.
We have a
maybe.
friend that has offered his services to get a job there so we can get in and then quit. but
a
haven't taken
noble
it on
effort.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah. So the really funny thing about that episode with you in it, right, is that the whole point of that is that, oh, it was so fucking easy to go in and steal this shit, right? And there was like this kind of like built up anxiety in the episode of like going in to steal these things, right? But then in real life, there was this sense of anxiety about going in and filming this scene, right? But the reality is that nobody fucking cared.
No.
Yeah.
It was like as easy for us to produce it as it was for those characters to actually steal the shit, right? Like it really
Wasn't there a moment at the Blu-ray DVD bin though that like Patrick actually has to like kind of whisper, "'Cause we're stealing it,"
Yeah.
and that's a genuine laugh right there because someone's like walking behind you guys.
Yeah, and we didn't want to be too loud.
Yeah.
letting it rip, man. Yeah, it was. I don't know.
That was funny because of that. But yeah, Scott, thank you for being a part of that. And back to Emily's question, how did you meet everybody?
Okay. Wow. All right. Oh man. Going back to the first time, I'm pretty sure I met you at probably Jazzy's.
It would have been because of one of these two people.
Yeah. So
Next to us.
So Scott was like childhood friends with Tyler, who was on last episode.
Oh, really? How did you meet Tyler?
Tyler. Well, I went to 5th grade with Tyler.
Yeah, they all
nice.
live in the same area.
In the same class? Like you had some teacher?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was in the same 5th grade class as
Cool.
Tyler and
Connor
Chase.
and
And Connor.
Oh, who's your teacher?
Mrs. Ashmore.
Ashmore.
And what is her address?
Social Security.
I can get that to you after.
Yeah, we're real close now.
Yeah.
Something about fifth grade teachers, man.
Nick Ritchie was in that class too, and yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, that's how I know like Connor and Tyler, and then, I kind of know I ended up meeting you through them because, well,
I went to high school with all of those guys.
so I went to Snow Canyon, and everyone else kind of went to Tuacahn. So there was
Straight
like
up.
a bit of a separation
Shout
there,
out.
yeah. And then I
Tuna
kind
can.
of reunited with the whole group after high school in a way. So that's kind of how I met everybody, really.
They just invite him over, and he was just this tall dude saying the funniest shit I've ever heard. It was like, all right, this guy's my friend now. That's how it goes.
Yeah, a lot of it started at the jam spot. Yeah.
The
I'm
place
pretty
where we make
convinced that
preservatives.
Scott needs to be a voice actor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I know, man.
or radio or something. Yeah.
It'd be so fun.
Can you give
honestly.
me a quick Nani?
Nani?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh my wa mo shinderu.
Good lord.
Yeah, no, Scott, like you are insanely good at impressions.
That was nuts.
Yes.
You
I've been
are.
I've been working
Yeah.
on my Nani for like probably 12 years maybe since I first saw it, because I do my big thing is replicating noises. I'm really good at that, but I do a little bit of impressions too.
Can
but
you
like
do
that,
a noise?
Yeah, do a noise you've been working on.
No,
Do it.
absolutely not. No.
It's
From the book.
It's like a stim that I have, kind of, where like if a noise is made, I will replicate it.
Okay.
When I hear it, right?
So you're like Patrick, except
But
words,
with noises,
it's noises,
sounds,
sound
rather than
effects.
words.
Dude,
Yeah.
you keep on one-upping him. He's not even here right now to defend himself.
Anyway, my Nani's not even close to that. That was incredible.
Yeah.
That was really
I just feel
amazing.
like if I'm gonna make fun of something properly, I should get the voice down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it does kind of come naturally sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
So you do a little bit of
Incidentally, in an attempt to make fun of it and do it really, really well, you're honoring it in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think
It's
so.
an homage,
Yeah.
not satire.
Yeah, because it
so good
comes
it
out of a
has to be
place
an-
of respect, even if
Yeah.
I'm,
Sure.
you know.
Well, kind of like Weird Al Yankovic, I guess, in that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he wouldn't parody a song that he didn't think was a good song. You know,
Right.
it still has
True.
to have that foundation, right?
Yeah. The recognizability.
Weird Al Yankovic has a very strong moral compass. I think we all know that.
Yeah.
His classic requirements of a moral remake of a song.
Right, which would include
No saying boobs. You just can't do that.
The classic song, No Saying Boobs.
Yeah.
No, that's
Weird
the
Al
rule.
is also like a childhood musical influence.
Weird Al.
Yeah.
How many songs did you hear the Weird Al version before the original
Fuck.
version?
Probably zero.
White Nerdy was definitely like
White
that.
Nerdy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
White Nerdy. I think just
Amish Paradise. I'm pretty sure I heard that.
Yeah.
Just
before
Eat
Christmas
It
Paradise.
by Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had heard
Yeah.
Michael Jackson first, but yeah.
Well, this
I
isn't
heard
about
Weird
you,
Al
Max.
first.
Yeah.
You asked a question.
Well, so for
Ouchie.
me, it was Rucka Rucka Ali.
Yes, dude.
Like I didn't listen to Weird Al at all, but I listened to that guy like probably more than I needed to.
He's definitely the fucking extremely edgy version of Weird Al.
I think it's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I might want to have this redacted from even this being on the podcast because I don't know if I want to say that I supported that
Patreon
guy at one
exclusive
point.
content.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't.
Howdy there, friends. Did you know that for the price of a cup of coffee or a foot-long sandwich, you can support us on Patreon? Our patrons get exclusive bonus content and deleted scenes, as well as access to our very special Watch of the Week Club. Come be our friend, and please give us that money, honey. If you want to be one of our first 10 patrons, we'll get you something special.
Yeah.
Or do something special. I don't know what that special thing is yet.
Subscribe and then suggest.
What you get with a patronage, being a patron, you get to be part of Watch of the Week Club, which means you know what Watch of the Week is like a week ahead of it, and you get to suggest future watches of the week in the Patreon. Patreon, wow.
Yeah.
And then
We're also
we
going to
share
have
deleted-
Shane do a whole new voice reading of the book that he's been reading. She comes first to redo that guy. That will be on our Patreon if you want
God,
to.
I hope
It's gonna be called
so.
Shane Comes First.
No, it won't be.
Just
That's
the
not what it's gonna be
rereading of
called.
the book. We'll do it. And then also we're sharing deleted scenes on the Patreon, the stuff that's a little too edgy for YouTube.
Yeah, the shit that gets us fucking.
Yeah, the stuff that gets us
Diesel.
banned from YouTube, which
Yeah,
has
oh,
happened
have there
already.
been, hard cuts?
Yeah, we got pulled off.
It
of,
happened on accident. I think
We got removed from
it-
episode
yeah.
3 for telling the truth.
Shane was
No,
spreading.
no. That is
We
Patreon
don't have to get
exclusive
into it.
content.
Yeah, you guys.
And then
yeah, go check the Patreon.
sometimes we take fun selfies and videos when we're doing episodes, and that is also shared on there. And we do it pretty frequently too. Come be a part of our fun club. And let's shout out maybe one of the first. We can assume that she's going to join eventually, right?
Oh, I can't wait. I don't know who
One of
this
the
is.
first patrons, besides me, Alec, and Shane.
Is it?
Want to shout out to the biggest patrons so far, Emily, Alec, and Shane.
Yeah.
Huge fans.
I could be a patron.
Yeah, man.
Can you donate as little as $1 a month?
$5.
Okay,
You, well, you
fine.
can donate whatever you want.
As much
but if
as
you
a
wanna see
coffee
anything.
or like
okay.
a cheap
That's the
beer.
first tier. Okay.
Yeah.
While we're talking about
Is
this,
it
also,
Mama Wilpink? Is that what you were alluding to right now?
Yeah, that's what she was alluding to.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to lie to our future patrons.
While we're talking about this, follow us on our social media. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We just post clips from this and from the show. Also, go check out the bloopers from
Bloops.
scene 1 of
Yeah.
Social Insecurity Number. They just
Bloops.
dropped.
Those are so much
We
fun.
will be dropping 4 more clips or 4 more what is it called, videos that will be bloopers from that, and then
Every Friday, right? On
Every
our
Friday.
YouTube
That's-
channel.
yeah. So keep a lookout for those. We're funny off camera. It's on camera too, but
Yeah.
when we're not.
And if you're watching this from the future, they're already available for you. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Cha-ching.
You didn't get in early.
Yeah.
Guess what?
If you can spot Tyler O'Hara Huff, we will shout you out on this episode. If you can spot him in there and tell me the timestamp.
Is that on this episode?
On the blooper
That's right.
clips. If you can give us the timestamps where he
Yeah.
pops
Check
up,
the bloops.
we'll
Nice.
give you a shout out.
Guess what, folks? Oh, go.
Oh, yeah,
go
turn
ahead.
it.
Well, I was going to say the fun is not over yet because we have Watch of the Week.
Nice. So
Oh!
let me say my thing first.
Yeah, say your thing.
I want my mom to be on the podcast.
Bet.
Will she
Can
be
we
a
have a
patron?
mom's episode?
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh my
I think it'd be a lot of
God.
fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Because I was talking with Alec beforehand. That I told my mom that I'm on a podcast now, and she's like, "Oh, where is it? Can I listen to it?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." She's like, "Should I not?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. I like say some gross stuff, but it's like really not that crazy." But I was just thinking, like, in between when I said that and this moment now was that like my mom has lived a lot of really really crazy life,
Mm-hmm.
and like is also really fucking funny. I think it'd be cool.
That'd be
Oh, yeah.
super
That would
fun.
be
So maybe a
cool.
mom's episode could be good.
I
So
feel like we
something
have
that
to
we
put
have
moms
to-
behind the paywall
Yeah,
because
probably.
they're high value,
Yeah,
very
sure.
high value.
Something that we have to mention is our mom texted us on Tuesday and was like, "Where's my new episode?" She does that, and then a couple hours later, she sends back NSFM, not safe for moms. I thought that was really good.
Which episode did she watch?
I can't remember what she
Episode
watched.
4. You just talk about she.
Maybe
comes
we
first.
talk about like signs and boobs and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, no,
or
I mean,
something.
you talk about She Comes First on episode 3.
I've talked about it on. At this
Seriously,
point,
like
yeah,
every single
episode.
episode.
both of those episodes.
I'm gonna put a counter right now.
Yeah,
That's how many times she's
It's important.
Shane's talked about it.
We'll talk later.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for sitting through our long spiel about giving us
You're
money.
welcome, he means.
I think that we are going to move on to the watch of the week.
Bum,
Whoa,
bum,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
bum,
watch of the
bum.
week.
Watch of the week. Watch of the week.
Hey, I just want to say real quick,
Yeah.
bump it up.
Come on, guys. Let's bump it up.
Let's bump it up.
Bump it up.
Let's bump
Let's
it up.
bump it.
Scott, could you give us a bump it up?
Yeah.
In what delivery style?
However
That's
it
up to
feels
you.
right.
Okay.
Creator's
Obama.
choice.
You can say
Obama
you
up.
can say more than one bump it up too.
Bump it up. Try to bump it up a bit.
Give us like a bump it up.
Bump it up.
Yeah.
Okay,
you
Morgan.
can use that
That's
one in
what
some
Morgan
way.
is gonna sample for our bump it
Okay,
up.
wait. Here, really
song.
quick. I got a prompt for you.
Okay.
You're at Fiesta Fun. You're 12 years old. Hold on. And you're going to the skee ball machine, and the skee ball machine is saying this to you. Bump it up.
Okay. The skee ball machine?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
out of the shitty speaker.
Okay. Let's
Bump
see.
it up. What do we got?
Bump it up. Wow. Get the skee ball. Bump it up.
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it made me sweaty like I was when I was 12.
I am sweaty right now.
Come here, little boy.
The adrenaline's hitting, and I'm about to beat everyone.
You know
because
what?
I'm good
You know
at-
what I think
I'm
of actually?
competitive.
That actually reminded me of the if any of you have ever played BioShock, the Circus of Values.
Circus of value.
Kill your cravings at the Circus of Values.
Fucking nightmare.
Hey,
dude.
I've got a production question that might be fun to discuss for a second.
Yeah.
Could we do a mobile episode recording at Fiesta Fun?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Gets a sponsorship by our anti-sponsorship this week is Fiesta Fun. Let us record there.
Come on.
We've never asked. We've never even talkked to you before.
We'll never
We're
talk
gonna
to you
blackmail you
again.
right off the bat.
No, I actually got an anti-sponsorship for this week.
Oh, great.
Ooh.
Now or yeah, fuck it.
I'll do it right now because Max brought it up.
Perfect.
The anti-sponsor for this week is In-N-Out Burger.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
So In-N-Out Burger used to be cool.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Have you guys heard they would like pay their people a good wage? And
That
it
was like
really-
a brand thing is
Yeah.
you get paid well and get
Yeah.
like treated
It was
well
a big
and
deal in
now.
high school.
Yeah,
It's,
not
it's- it is a fast-paced
anymore.
work environment.
Well, now, thanks to their joining up with other fast food restaurants in California, they have put in, is it lobbying, I guess? They have,
I suppose it's lobbying, but they're opposing a House bill in California, and I could get this wrong. We need to fact check it, but they're opposing a House bill in California that's going to improve wages and working conditions for
course.
fast food employees.
Yep.
And this is alongside Starbucks and In-N-Out and one other company.
is it?
No, it's
Subway.
No,
Popeyes.
no,
Eat fresh.
no. I'll have to look it up.
Baja Fresh.
Let me look
one
it
of
up.
the major ones, Burger King.
Either way.
It's a recognizable.
Fat
it
Willie's.
could be Chick-fil-A, but
Fuck Chick-fil-A
Steak
anymore.
and Sam's.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, but I used to like In-N-Out Burger. But, they've got like elitist secret menus.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I thought that. No, that's cool, dude.
no, this is the anti-sponsorship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to be hating on them.
Chipotle.
Oh,
I can't,
Fuck you,
dude. I
Chipotle
like
as
their
well.
shakes too much. I'm sorry. I'll just
Listen,
be
there's
quiet.
not a single thing of ketchup in there. If there's one thing I know about America, it's that there's ketchup there.
There's no
That's
ketchup.
right. Either way, regardless of the quality of their burgers and other delights,
Yeah.
they are opposing better working conditions and better wages for their
And
workers.
wetter wages.
Wetter wages.
Yeah.
And so, fuck In-N-Out Burger.
Fuck 'em.
Eat my dick. If you want us to take this off the podcast, give us $10,000.
And also fucking drop your support of that bill, bitch.
Yeah,
Oh, right, yeah.
maybe do
Yeah.
that first.
Yeah, this is just like for anyone who like doesn't know. Right now, economists are saying, and this is what it is like with this bill, I'm sure, like wages are too high in this country. In order for the economy to work, wages for people need to come down, and this is probably an example of that. That doesn't make any sense. If the economy's run off of things like that, we need to change the economy. How does it make sense that people are making too much money and now the economy doesn't work? That's
Also, considering the majority of In-N-Outs are in California, they probably need help with their. I mean, all fast food workers in California, I'm sure, are struggling right now. You know, it's like there's just no way they can afford to live unless they probably have like 100 roommates, kind of thing. You know, yeah, I can't even imagine trying to rent a space there. It'd be.
Imagine having 100
California.
roommates.
Yeah.
That sounds like a sitcom premise.
If they're all cute, maybe it'd be fun.
A romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Something like a polycule, but like they're all broke.
Well, it could be like 100 first dates where someone decides to date all of their like it's like 100
Date all your
episodes.
roommates.
100 first dates. It's just like huge Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the movie 50 First Dates.
Yeah, damn it. You're right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I could do 2 dates at once.
He's well, what it'd be is if it was Adam Sandler, they'd be conjoined twins and one of them would be like mentally disabled and it'd have a really, really, really distasteful, like weird speech impediment.
Adam
That's what would
Sandler and
happen.
like Maury Sander or whatever. It's just like part of his body. Like,
Yeah.
it's like his face is like right here.
What's the movie with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger? Is
Twins.
it Twins? Twins mixed with I forgot what my
50 First Twins.
Yeah. Adam Sandler as instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Twins.
Yeah, nice. All right, so Max has got an Instagram video to show us. So we're going to pull it up right now.
Okay, so let me walk you through the situation here. So the other day, I have a notification on Instagram. I go, what's that? So I pull up my notifications, and I have some follower requests because I'm on private. And so one's from Foam Roller Band. Shout out Foam Roller. They're good. But then also this thing's from Yellow Munko. So I'm like, what the hell is this? Yellow_Munko. So I pull them up, and you guys can see it's just like this page with some yellow things on it. And I go, okay. And it just says official operator of the Yellow Hut. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I click on his story, and he has this link to this video. So we're going to watch it now. If you want to see it, on Instagram, it's Yellow_Munko. On YouTube, it's David Cho. And the video we're watching is
We'll
Yellow.
link it in the description.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
This is not the watch of the week, also.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is 8 minutes long.
Holy
Damn.
shit. Wow.
Yellow Munko. Let's go.
Wow.
I'm glad we watched that whole thing. That was
Yeah.
an experience.
Yeah.
That was
al-
beautiful.
almost
That was
almost
beautiful.
profound. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that it was like off-brand, off the air. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm digging that. I'm seeing that video style more and more now, where it's like a kind of like faux philosophical, but like still it's definitely kind of funny. Like it's still like it's a bit of a
Is-
meme. Yeah.
How recent was this video published?
Yesterday
was
is
it
when
a
I
response
had
to
it.
the
13 days
Lunar
ago.
New Year shooting?
There's only 5K views on this.
Yeah, so I
Wow.
I saw
That's
him.
more than
he
all of
followed
our
me
views
yesterday. And I
combined.
did
This is
so-
beautiful.
So it's
But-
I
a
liked it.
meditation. That's what
I think it was
He
profound.
also-
69 comments. Damn. Let's comment on it right now.
Yeah, bump it up. He also makes this other video that I just saw. He also has one that's called White. You can see it in the suggested videos.
This is how my brain works, honestly.
Like that.
But yeah.
Yeah, the White one is a little bit less like deep because it's like not about race. It's just kind of about white. But anyways, yeah, I don't know
bump it
who
up
this
pretty-
guy is.
Yeah.
I did see on accident when I was looking this up that he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, so I'm getting scared. But the video is good.
Nice.
So I had a couple thoughts coming from
This
that.
guy was on Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
David Cho.
So first thing is that in Simpsons, everyone's yellow except for black people. Black people are distinctly not yellow.
I haven't seen The Simpsons really.
Yeah, like that's like the one race in there that is not the same color as everybody else, and I don't really know what to make of that. It's
Apu
just-
wasn't yellow, is he?
Oh, you're right. No, he's like a more brownish color.
Yeah.
You're right.
I don't know.
All right, I was wrong. Never mind.
So Simpsons isn't even like yellow as like a
So
comment on race. They're just white people.
Does yellow equals white people? And what nutritional deficiency are they suffering from?
Oh, what is it? What's the one?
Jaundice.
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 Yeah.
John Dice.
Yeah.
That was great. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Max.
Dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew Dice Clay.
Another interesting thing about that reminded me. So I was studying when I was in college. I was learning about like different colors across languages, and basically, they did a study where they kind of looked at different languages and they saw what their colors were, and they like had the people in those groups like kind of sort a bunch of different colors or a bunch of different color, kind of cards into different piles. Like, what are these colors? And they basically found that, some languages are more developed and less developed, and they have more variation in color and less variation in color. But there's kind of like a really strong trend about what colors get developed as being distinct languages or distinct words. So like light and dark are the first ones. There's always light and dark. But then red is consistently the first color that gets a name. The next one is blue. And then the next ones after that are green, and then yellow, or yellow and then green. They go in that order. And then after that, it just kind of like varies and gets kind of weird.
So I feel like that like logically makes sense up until it being yellow above brown, right? Because you're thinking like light, dark, you need that. Red, blue, those are two, blood, like the sky, like two
Blood,
things
sky.
that you need to be able to differentiate. These are different from other things. And then green would be plants and stuff. It would make sense that dirt, you'd also have something for like the brown. But I guess maybe you don't need to describe what color that is if it's
Scott
just
and I
everything.
were talking about colors before we started recording.
Yeah, well, Millie knows blue and yellow. She knows those two words. But she points to green and she says blue.
You think she's colorblind?
Well, she's half right.
No.
Maybe.
No.
She's half right.
Maybe.
She's
Well, yeah,
figuring it
right?
out.
They
Yeah.
are similar colors in a way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, like, there's a reason why, like, those colors develop in that order, and, like, why green colors are kind of considered blue colors until they finally get their own distinct thing.
So I know that I think dogs see yellow and blue most distinctly
They
or
don't see
only.
red. That's all I know.
Yeah. And I'm like wondering now from the perspective of like red, obviously for humans, bad, right? Yellow and blue for dogs. Is yellow pee and blue is water?
Maybe.
Yellow I just associate with, like, gold, honestly.
Yeah.
And dogs are
Yeah.
greedy motherfuckers. You know how they are. I'm always looking for that next.
Well, I'm probably just a greedy motherfucker.
Dogs love gold.
Yeah. There's, I think it's called color opposition theory, something like that. But there's it's like a theory in how vision works, and it basically is saying that like when you see when you see red, you also see not green. Right, and when you see it, I think it's when you see blue, you also see not yellow, and reversed as well. That's kind of like when you like stare at the sun for too long and look away, you get like those the inverted tracers.
Right.
And it's how we like end up distinguishing this stuff. So it's kind of interesting that red and blue then are kind of primary, and then yellow and green are like the opposites of that, and have to kind of be established as being not those things.
Gosh, there's an art. So I listen to the Andrew Huberman podcast a lot. I fucking love that. Like
What's it about?
neuroscience.
Oh, cool.
And he's a big fan of some artists that really only works with like blocks of color. And Rothko, yeah. And he explores that. It's like the same phenomenon as like the black and blue dress, yellow and white, gold, white dress. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, that's cool.
The dress thing, that's one of the things that like when that came out that I kept on thinking about is, okay, so this like little trick has been around forever, and it's never been like a popular thing that people are like, oh, look at this. Like, people have these little tricks that they show you, like, oh, it fucks with your mind and you do that. How has that never been a thing that humans have tried before the internet? Like, there's never been, no one's ever tried to mess with color like you're talking about that guy is doing, and like making people see oh, maybe it's blue and white, maybe it's black and gold.
I think it maybe, I mean, before the internet, before TV probably, I think humans had like, I'm staring at a bright light right now and I'm closing my eyes and seeing a purple light, right? They probably had that, and that was probably like maybe visions to them, or like some different interpretation besides like the light is burning something into my retinas.
So how
you know?
the dress thing works is that it's basically if you think that the dress is in direct sunlight or if it's under shade. Like when you see it, like those colors, that's what it looks like. If the dress is in shade, you see white and blue. But if it's if it's in sunlight, you see yellow and black or orange or whatever it is.
Yellow,
Glass half full, glass half empty?
It kind of is. It's like a thing that like if people see, I don't know if it's specifically correlated to that, but I think the reason why it's big on the internet is because you get feedback of people seeing like what they're seeing on it, right? Like
Yeah,
how they're
I guess.
interpreting
I
it.
wonder if there have been studies done on this. Like,
I mean,
are there
I've-
like more
like that.
shady countries, like in, I guess, like Norway during the winter? Like, do they see it be the one in shade, the black and blue one?
Well, so I think the thing that's, I guess I'd kind of answered my question with you saying, or you kind of answered my question is that like in real life, you're never going to not know what the light source is, right?
Exactly.
So you're going to assume, oh, it's dark out, so it looks like this, or it's light out, so you're not going to, whereas if that's what it is on that picture, you can't get that in real life.
Yeah, it's an optical illusion and there's no real point of reference on it. And so it like your brain just decides what it is. And I don't think that it's saying too much about the person itself. It's just kind of like whatever you happen to think at the
it
time.
is because there's an initial reaction, right?
Right, but I don't know if like
And there's a judgment you make.
I don't know if that's saying something about you as a person or if it's saying like that's just how your brain
Not
decides.
you as a person, but how your brain decided to do
Yeah,
it.
if you see
Yeah.
white and gold, fuck you.
Yeah.
Well, now that this has become a meme, you can't actually get any data from it because you're going to be questioning yourself, and then you're going to be like, oh.
Right.
Can I talk about that from a super nerdy
Yes.
technical
No.
photography standpoint?
Yes.
So the differences between whether it was white balanced off the blue stripe or white balanced off the black stripe. That's the difference.
Yep.
That's the point of reference. That's like why it would look different or not, right?
That's exactly right.
Is that
yeah.
you're putting a blue something under a yellow light, right? So if you're white balancing off of the blue, which to your eyes would almost kind of be canceled out, it would make sense that you would then see white and gold, right? Because
Yes.
now to get the blue to look white, it has to go further yellow, right?
Yes, exactly.
Which would then make your black gold, right? Whereas if you were bouncing off the black, white balancing off the black, it is a true black anyway, and which would make that a blue dress.
Yep.
Because you're
Exactly
going
right.
cooler, right? To compensate for the fact that you have a yellow light.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to, is that it's a shitty fucking cell phone photo.
Yep.
And it's like not smart camera. That's like what it was.
And the background that you see in it, it looks like they are standing outside, but it also looks like they might be standing under some shade. It's not clear in that, and so your brain
Right.
just chooses.
Yeah.
Do you think that they took that picture on purpose to do that, or was that just a random thing that happened? Like, because it's like with all those conditions just happening to work out perfectly, you know, it seems like something they'd have to plan.
I think that that's probably a larger picture that they probably cropped down,
Okay.
Right.
and then it probably was. I mean, there's almost definitely like a history somewhere on the internet about this, but it probably was like they showed it to somebody and then they saw it and like they kind of just had this conversation. And it just got spread and spread.
Let's go to the watch.
Let's do it. Finally, let's get to the watch of the week, because that was not our watch of the week.
So I got 17 minutes and I want to talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get to the watch
Let's
of the
run
week.
through this.
So the watch of the week this week was Off the Air from Adult Swim. The episode was Holes. Now, Off the Air is, I'm not sure exactly of its history, but from this specific one, this is very clearly to me a bunch of different like short films that were taken from different artists that were then compiled based on the theme of holes.
So what it is, it's this guy Alan Resnick. Okay.
Yeah.
So he is this guy who got hired by Adult Swim to do this show off the air. It's all him.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No, it's not. The first one, Alan Tutorial, that is him.
Alan Resnick.
But the anus is bleeding. That's Don Hertzfeldt.
Really?
Yeah, that's absolutely that's been around for a long time. It's a clip. He's this.
So okay,
animator that does
so
that.
what about the other ones then? Are they not? Because
I think that they were all done by different people. Like I've seen the one with the prolapsed cowboys, as we have it written. I've seen that before. And on its own. So this is definitely like a bunch of different segments that are all put together. Now, Off the Air does do ones that are like kind of one-offs that are their own sort of thing, but this one specifically, and I'm guessing the other ones like Nature and Light and stuff like that are compilations of short films.
interesting. Yeah, I've only ever read that it's an Alan Resnick thing. That's interesting.
Yeah, this one's always been, I think, for a few reasons, one of my favorite. I think I really like the music in this one.
Yeah.
Just overall, yeah. There's kind of more of a focus on like just kind of psychedelic, like zoning out, listening to like really complex, not really complex, but just kind of high fidelity, noises and
It's like texturally complex.
yeah. The
Horse girls love it.
I think the way that it starts out is kind of genius too, because like if you just put on that video and it's like, okay, what the fuck is this? Holes. And then it starts out with the Alan tutorial thing.
You think
It's
you're
like,
gonna see Shia LaBeouf or something?
he's like, it's tutorial time, or no, he pushes off the log and he's like, it's tutorial time, and then like you're like, what the fuck is going on? He's in the woods.
the fucking hand.
Yeah,
when
and
the
then
hand came out, I was like,
fucking
oh.
camera goes down and you see like his toes, and it's like
Legs are
his like
Gross
long
his
toenails.
legs.
Like
I
dirty-ass
thought this
feet.
was a woman actually.
Yeah.
Well, and the voice, yeah.
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 That's one of the things
Hey,
about it.
guys,
It's got like
we're
that
gonna-
sweet.
a YouTube tutorial today.
The word
If you haven't
tutorial
seen
is
Alan
said maybe
tutorial,
10 times.
Watch that too. That shit's so funny.
Yeah.
Also, kind of scary.
Keep
Also.
going, Scott.
Well, just like the way it starts out, it's very attention grabbing.
Yeah.
Like if someone hasn't seen that before, it's like, what are we fucking watching?
I was
Like,
expecting a jump scare.
She was.
I think every time I've shown that video to someone, they're like, what is this? What are you showing me, dude? Like,
Yeah.
this is fucked.
Well, and in the video, it's so funny. It's just this guy who's in the middle of the woods, especially if you don't have any of this context. He's looking around, finds this random thing with a bunch of caulk on the outside of it, and he's like, I'm gonna weatherize a hole.
No,
just like
it's
on
literally
the,
like that's part of
like
what gives that video some authenticity. It's like it literally looks like he just found like a busted out like aerosol can, aerosol spray can.
Yeah.
And it looks like something you would not want to touch. You know?
I was worried
Yeah.
it was a dead animal.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like, all right, we're gonna just do a tutorial about. He's trying to find a
I think
tutorial,
we
and
need
then
a-
he finds this
We
thing,
need
and then he
a
finds the
weatherized
hole.
can. This is a weatherized can.
yeah, a
And-
weatherized can.
Shane-
We're
I
gonna
don't think
weatherize
that's
a hole.
Yeah.
Shane, this one
Yeah.
is about holes.
Yeah. And that's kind
Do
of
you
my
have
whole
an
thing.
opinion on it?
Yeah. So
Shane's the resident
His
hole guy.
technique
Yeah.
when he goes
Yeah.
in to touch the hole.
yeah. No, man. So I really liked it a lot. It was cool. I like this kind of shit from Adult Swim anyway. I think it's a lot of fun. And my first thought was, it feels like these projects or these compilation of videos are all centered around somebody trying to do one thing production wise and like creating like a really quick little thing to like test it out or to practice it, right? So like that's kind of what it felt like the whole time. Is it's like, oh, like when I run tests for things when I'm trying to like practice a skill in filmmaking or whatever, like I'll do something not nearly as wild as this, but it feels very much like that, where it's like you are focusing on this one thing specifically to try to test it out, right? So like the fucking horse one with the guy's face, right? It's like oh, you're like learning how to bit crush shit, right? Like that's what the point of it's like an exercise to learn how to, like, I think it's what that's called, bit crushing, right? Or even like with the Cowboys, then it's like the same thing. It's like the special effects of like these kinds of things, right? It felt very much like it was an exercise to practice a like tool or like craft in like your filmmaking or animation or whatever like that. It was, I don't know, it was kind of cool.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of that one, the bit crushing one, which Emily has listed as psychedelic tunnel horse thing.
Yeah.
The thing that really stood out to me with that was how you can create horror using sound.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. It sounded terrifying. It sounded like something was happening, and it reminds me of this video that we watched up with in Portland with what's their names.
Yes, I was going to mention Lily and Henry.
Shout out.
Shout out to Lily and Henry. Fucking love you too.
Yeah.
They're part of this amazing community of creators and wonderful people that make like YouTube or like music videos, and it's insane. I don't have the definition for it. Really,
I don't remember what it's called, but I'm going to put it right here. That's what it's called. And they have like kind of every couple months or something, they have like a film festival where they get together, and they're really like super internet-y videos, like a lot of that sort of stuff. And the one at the very end of it was like, it's just this image. It looks like a skull kind of that starts off really small in the distance. It's a black screen, this white skull that slowly moves closer, and the music just is like a drone, and it starts to get louder, and it has that kind of like that kind of minor tone to it that starts to sound horrifying, and the face just gets closer, and you just get this horrifying thing. And it's like 7 minutes of just watching this get closer, and the sound getting like louder and more kind of chaotic but evil sounding.
Yeah,
and
it has a lot of like similarities to that one, doesn't it?
Fun.
It's like that incoming like dread almost. You
Yes,
know? It's like
yes.
you can
Maybe
feel
we
it
can-
coming. You can see
maybe
it
we
coming.
can link,
you know,
find it and link
you don't
it
know
in the
what's
episode.
coming though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with the horse one, it's like so you don't really know what you're looking at first, and then you can kind of start making out like there's a horse, which like evokes certain like imagery in my head.
Yeah.
And then there's like a smiling face. It looks like a young woman smiling, and it's cycling in between those two images as it's like ramping up, like the, and it's like it almost looks like it's it's like a wave.
I think there's like some hypnosis technology happening throughout this entire video.
Yeah.
I found myself like wanting to sync my breathing to the music that was happening in this one, and like maybe one other.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
The first time I ever watched this, so our good friend Morgan, he's the one who introduced us all to Alan Resnick, unedited footage of a bear, all that stuff. So the first time I'm watching this, I think we're on acid, and so we see, the weathering the whole thing, and then it goes into this whole animation thing, and then the horse thing. And so I'm sitting here just like tripping out, just like it's so intense. This thing is going. Yeah, I'm breathing with it, all that stuff. And then when it cuts to the anus is bleeding thing, I got so mad. I was like, all of that build up for this? I thought it was going to be something cool, and it's just my anus is bleeding?
That's part of what I really like about what they do with the compilation aspect is like they do something with the transitions almost every time. Like the way it transitions into something else, it's like, whoa, that was crazy, but it kind of made sense, but it was also kind of jarring in a way.
Yeah.
And that cut it's honestly kind of hilarious. It's like,
for sure
you go from this like intense psychedelic, like, holy fuck, like it's almost like you feel like you're on the cusp of like realizing something really profound.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
See, that's why I was so mad.
Yeah.
Like, it's good, and that's why it made me mad, right? Is because it's like they did it so well, And again, like, it's definitely really funny, but I think that's what Off the Air does, right? Where it does this like really cool artistic stuff where it really gets you involved, but then it reminds you it's just a joke, and like it's just made for people who are up at 2 a.m. and randomly see something on the TV,
Yeah. This thing that we're talking about reminds me of. It's I think it's Symphony No. 3 by Krzysztof Penderecki. And I only know about it because I read some interview with Johnny Greenwood or something where he talks about it. It's this a melodic orchestra composition. And I don't know if it's Symphony No. 3, but I remember because I heard it and it was like supposed to be super weird. So this is the only time I've ever done this, but I like put in my headphones and I laid down on my floor and I just listened to it. And it starts off kind of quiet and it grows. And then it has all these kind of like, again, a melodic kind of like just tone sort of stuff, but it starts to get really dark. Like it feels dark and it feels like dreadful, and it feels like they have like the ding 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 like spiders, it feels like, over you and stuff, and it fills you with dread. And I was just realizing like there's not anything happening, but I'm feeling this dread build up in me, and it's amazing that something like this can just be done by music alone. And then maybe one of the strokes of genius is right at the very end. It ends with this beautiful major C chord. This, and it's just like, it was so cathartic, and this just feeling of like, I feel good.
Thank you,
Thank you so much. Thank you for not leaving me in that state. And it's so cool that music can do that. Yeah.
Hey, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I want to switch to a different.
This is my thought around all of this. So one of the things that it's like we're all kind of talking about how it makes you feel listening to it, watching it, right? Is that like the best way I could describe it was, when you're having a bad dream. Yeah. And like there's nothing inherently bad, but you know that it is like a bad dream, right? Like it's a bad dream because you have felt that it's a bad dream. Yes. Even if nothing is happening, if there's nothing scary, no one is trying to get you, but you're like having a nightmare, right? Is that it's like indescribable. It's just like it is entirely like made up inside of your brain almost, right? It's like you're like watching this, and the dread that you're feeling, it feels very much like, I'm like in a nightmare right now. It's not inherently bad. It is only bad because I am feeling that it is bad. I don't know. It was really weird.
Yeah. Well, it's odd because the imagery it's kind of positive. Yeah. Like,
it's a horse.
Yeah, like a horse running is like, it evokes like feelings of like freedom and happiness, I guess.
Sure.
And,
No, but the horse is in a pasture.
Is it?
The horse had a gate behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, just a little thing I know.
Okay.
Sorry, your point's mute now.
Yeah.
Well,
it's mute.
Okay. But then the smiling woman.
Mute.
You don't like smiling women?
Well, it's kind of
like...
no,
that's overall positive. That's what I mean. It's like, if it maybe had like... If even like the arrangement of like the music was different, like if it was in a major key or whatever, it would have been just a different feeling. Or if the way that they did the effect was different, you know.
Right.
But yes.
So I want to talk about the tide pools one
Yeah.
because this one evokes like a lot of things for me. Like when I'm in like meditative states or different like states of mind, I think about like this contrast of like large and small a lot.
Okay.
And like contrast. And this like visualized it in such a clear way with like the things growing off of his body. I don't know. It just resonated with me
Cool.
a lot. And also, do you remember the little thing that you might have heard in junior high about like some guy licking a toxic frog and
Getting high from it.
he got like a fungus?
Oh.
Yeah.
This made me think of
No,
that.
I did not hear about that.
Yucky.
No, I mean that animated short was like obviously really beautiful, and I liked how he like dips his fingers in, and then this thing takes over, and it's like taking over him, and he's moving, and then he's like able to like get used to it, and like kind of control it and be okay with it, and it kind of like
he goes
dies
to help
down.
someone, but
they're
that
like-
person can't cope with it.
But they eventually do because he's there
They
to help
eventually
them.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, even when they're there, like there's times when it's kind of going crazy, and he even like the kind of protagonist gets kind of like ripped around by the stuff in him, but he stands back up and he's kind of like okay with like what's happening. He's just kind of like dealing
Go
with
with
it.
the flow almost.
Yeah. And then they're together, and then at the very end they go, and there's like the last little tide pool, and there's like you can just see the face in there with the eye, and that's a nightmare for me.
It makes me think of like just life, right? Like even our dermis, right, has a microbiome on it,
Yeah.
and all these things can grow off of it. And like the tide pool thing, like if you go to a tide pool, literally like 30 plus, probably more different creatures can live in those things.
Yeah.
And that made me think of, I don't know.
So the thought that kept coming to mind when I'm watching all of these is that it feels like it's like a study on overindulgence. That was what like the concept that kept coming to mind, is that it's like overindulgence.
Whole, yeah. Sorry, yeah, but like with a whole, if you try to like make a whole thing out of that, I think overindulgence is kind of within that, because it's like it's this endless thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just- yeah.
Yeah.
So overindulgence was the thought that kept coming to mind when I'm like watching all of these, and I realized that like it could just be nothing. It could just be weird, and that's it. But that was like, if there was any point to any of it, it really felt like it was it was commentary on overindulgence.
I think you're
specifically.
onto something though, because the title sequence is this attic that's twisting with the titles,
like
and
pulling back.
it's endless.
So
yeah.
with the tide pools one, I think that this, like with what you're talking about, like trying stuff out, I think that's I mean, I don't know if it's an example of that, but with you saying that, it made me think like how there's a different section of them that's doing a different animation. Like it's like if you were trying to test out all these different things, that's something you do. Also,
very
like
human psyche, emotions.
I also
of thing,
my
yeah.
favorite part of this one is when he sticks his finger in and it's just like, and you can just feel that. You know? I love the animation in this one. I love how it feels so pleasurable to watch it, and the way that they move, and that pop, and the way that everything moves. It just feels so nice. I love watching this one. It's,
something about it doesn't feel like, I don't know. It's almost like the whatever it is, the plant or the whole plant is like meant to be like attractive. So like when you get it, it's like, oh, this is fucking cool, like whoosh, fucking flipping around or whatever. Like it kind of pulls them, like the bits that attach to them like pull them around.
and they have to like stabilize
I think there
themselves.
maybe you could interpret it as like an addiction.
Yeah,
that's what I was
that's what
thinking,
I've
yeah.
definitely.
well, and that's when
gotten
the
from it.
overindulgence like kind
Yeah.
of clicked, was like then.
I don't know. I don't know if it's
Just
I
because
don't
it's
know if
nature
it's
doesn't mean
just
it's not
about
evil.
addiction.
No,
I think
but
it's
I
about a
think-
lot of different parts of a human.
It might just
right?
be about like life in general.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
I
just-
mean, I think like with a lot of things like this, I don't know if they're about something. I think that there's a lot of things that can be gleaned from it.
No,
though.
we have to define this.
That's how art works. You can't define art. Is it really art?
Yeah.
I definitely think that the addiction thing is strong in this, where it definitely gives off that, but it also very much is about the helping other people through things, and
Yeah.
like you have experience, so you can help them with that. And
Yeah.
I
because it
think
doesn't
that
at
really
the
was the
end-
major theme, is like whatever like weird shit they're going through with like the plants or whatever, getting stuck inside the plants, like whatever that is actually supposed to represent. They're all kind of
I think
helping
that's
each other
birth.
through it.
Yeah.
And they like find each other and they're like all kind of lost, but Like, you know,
Yeah.
they kind of
All you
make
need
friends, you
is
know.
friends, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
All you need is love, I think.
I have that song in my head
I don't know
all the
what
time.
song you're
right.
thinking of,
Sleep
but
paralysis is just that song.
The Hat Man is playing a harmonica.
Out of like a really old phonograph, dude. It's like really scratchy.
we need to
Oh,
we need
gosh.
to buy a harmonica.
Yeah.
I'd love to have one in the house.
I do think the song is really cool.
Yeah, I
It's
love
like,
the song. It adds to it so much. I
and
mean,
like the beginning with like the it's like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
it really is just one of. I mean, I think this would be some of the most interesting type of stuff to make as an animator, where
Yeah.
there's no narrative behind it, or there's no words necessarily. So you have to
Yeah.
create the entire narrative through drawings, and like it can be so vague, but also, yeah, I don't know. I think the music really adds into things like off.
I just
the
had a
air.
thought that I think that this is like this is Fantasia for weirdos.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah, for
that with it ending in the attic. So again, the first time I watched this, I'm on acid. It's super intense, and we just went through the Cowboys thing, which is really, really funny. And like then it goes into this attic, and you're sitting there, and you're so ready. You're like, oh my god, what's he about to take me on now? And it starts swirling, and you're like, oh boy. And then the credits come up, and it's like, that what?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
another one where I got angry, and I'm angry because it's done well, but it was like
Yeah.
you set me up so well, and then you just subverted my expectations.
Yeah.
I was
into-
just gonna say subverted expectations.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
said subverted,
Right.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I love how like surprise is a part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does that through a lot of his different videos too, like with that, combining it right next to each other. And
Yeah.
If you watch that whole like Alan tutorial series, I don't know if like any of you have like
I watched some of it.
researched what the whole thing like leads into, but like after that part where he's like in the woods, like he doesn't
That's, like,
start out
pretty
in the
far
woods. It
into
starts
it.
out as just like weird tutorial videos, like how to crush a can with a plank of wood.
it
and
starts
shit
off
like
the
that.
same as that one does, where he's just trying to figure out something to make a tutorial about.
He ends up
yeah.
getting like kidnapped, I think, at some
Right.
point, and like he's locked in a room, and like the shit that ends up happening in the room, it's like
being forced to
Yeah.
create these YouTube. It's
Yeah.
really cool. It's really cool.
it's
Unedited
it
footage
isn't
of a
real,
bear.
by the way. Yeah, it's a like an experimental miniseries by
Yeah.
Alan
Alan
Resnick.
Tutorial.
What is that his name?
Yeah, Alan Resnick.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Travis Resnick's younger, weirder brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's already weird.
Albert Rusnak.
Cool. Well, I think that was good. That was a great. I really liked covering this. I think it'd be really cool to cover another off the air.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Specifically unedited footage of a bear, because we talk
Yeah.
about that all the fucking time.
Yep.
Although it's definitely different from this, because again, this is like several segments, whereas that's like one kind of whole
It plays
story.
on the same ideals, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Cool. Well, cool. Well, I think that's it then.
Subscribe to our Patreon, y'all.
Follow us on socials, Bumpy Soup, Bumpy Soups on everywhere except for TikTok.
Scott, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah,
Can
thanks
you
for
Guys for
joining.
having me on.
yeah? Can you give us a nice?
Wait, do you want to plug your podcast?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Do some plugs.
Yeah, I'm on another podcast. It's called First World Meltdown. It is on Spotify, so I would recommend just finding it on there. But it's on a couple other different places as well. And yeah, I'm on that podcast, and that's my friend Christian's podcast. We do it over Discord, and it's mostly about just us bitching about different things, and you know, it's not all bitching, but
We love
there is a lot
complaining
of
to
that.
be cast into the airwaves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Patrick, our co-host, and his lovely cat Band, who is nearing the end of his life. Band, the first
Bandit,
cat
we
that
love
made me
you.
like cats. I
Stuart,
was
we
an
love
anti-cat
you.
guy.
Oh.
What a great cat.
What a great
He-
intro cat.
Yeah, life-changing cat.
Yeah, gonna
So,
throw
shout
a
out,
beautiful
For real,
picture of
such a
him.
Shout
Sweet
out Patrick.
boy.
We all love you. We're all here for you.
Yeah, love
We
you,
love
Patrick.
you.
Much
Love you,
love.
Bandit.
We should
Scott-
name the
Oh yeah, we need to name the podcast.
Nice.
We never watched the Watch of the Week.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
R.I.P. Band.
It's earlier.
Something yellow.
We forgot. Yeah, last week we forgot to say maybe Gay Michael as the name of the episode.
No, it's called the last week's episode is denying the prophecy of Gay Michael odds.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
Gay Michael.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
It's
Good.
in there for sure.
yeah. Scott.
Scott, do you have an idea for naming the episode?
Oh shit, I don't know.
I feel like if I may,
Yes.
just call it Nani.
Nani?
Yeah, Nani with like 2 exclamation points and 2 question marks.
Yeah.
Nani?
Nani?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
Is that it?
Watch
that's it.
watch the bloops. Watch
the bloops.
bloops
Yeah.
from scene 1 on our YouTube channel.
Scott, can you give us a good old bump it up?
Shout out Penelope Douglas.
Bump it up.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.